The microphone? Yeah, we do have the microphone right now. So hello again. Welcome to the stream. It's Friday again, and it's been a bit longer than a month. And apologies for the little technical difficulties again at the start. Thankfully, I caught it. It looks like OBS has some problem with the microphone. Before I tried everything and tested it out before I started the stream. And it seemed to be working. And now when I actually started recording and streaming, it looks like the microphone was dead again. So it's kind of weird. I will have to check OBS then. And I can see Snake is here and Snakish Raccoon is here. Hey, that's so nice to see you both here. To my own surprise, I did start on time this time. So I think some people will be a little bit surprised because usually it took me a little bit longer to start, but yeah, today I wanted to start at the correct time. And Snaky is saying, sorry, so just me for now. No, you're not alone anymore. Snaky is here as well. So yeah, I'm happy that you are both here. Really, it's great to see you. I do have to say, I have a pretty heavy week after me, and it's Friday evening, and I did get up yesterday and today at 5 a.m. in the morning and didn't really get much sleep. So in case I will be talking and suddenly I will stop in the middle of a sentence with a very blank stare, that means that I'm just unable to find the right word. So apologies for that. So yeah, it's kind of the end of the week. Yeah, Snaky is saying, yeah, I couldn't hear at first, but now we can hear you just fine. I had to actually disconnect and reconnect again the microphone. And I did actually play around before the recording 2-3 times with it. So just to make sure that everything's working, and clearly it's not. So yeah, I have to check it then later. Yeah, like I said, I'm happy that you are here. I'm hoping that you are fine and that you had a not so busy week and that you are having a nice Friday evening. So I'm really glad that you are here. We didn't talk for quite some time. Like I said, I wanted to make the stream earlier, but there was always something that just happened. And I was like, okay, no, this Friday not. Then again, next week, no, this Friday not. So, and I just didn't want to delay anymore. So I just said, okay, we're doing it this week, etc. And I just don't care anymore. And if I'm dying during the stream because I'm so tired, I don't care. I want to talk to you and I want to see you. And I'm glad I did it because I can see some of you here. A snake and a raccoon walk into a bar. That's from Snake. Okay. Good. Let me start with one thing, and that's the topics that we have for today, because there's quite a lot. Of course, some of it probably will be already something that you have heard in the meantime, but there were some relatively recent posts and articles and news that I'm hoping we can discuss, and it will be new as well for you. And yes, Snakish is saying, I will have to distinguish you two, so I will say, my dearest raccoon. And Snake, you are snaky. So I get you, Sisa, life can be so hectic at times. Yeah, it's kind of hectic for quite some time already. So I don't know how I make it during the week, probably because I take it with humor, but yeah. Okay, let me look at the topics that we have. Good. So we will be talking about First Light. Let me just put it a little bit down. So First Light, it was also on the thumbnail, so I'm sure you have noticed. There's quite a lot that's been posted about it, so that's one of the two main topics. Then I do have some little Mass Effect info for you. Some Crimson Desert little update as well. And a lot is going on also on Exodus's side. So I do have a lot there as well to talk about. So that's the second main topic. Then there are some Osiris Reborn stats from the beta that was available. I have some news on the financing of the Arcanaut Studios, which is Casey Hudson's new studio. And then there is something about The Witcher, Sony, and Ubisoft. So there's quite a lot. and some upcoming game fests and showcases. We do know already some of the dates when some of the fests will be taking place. So I'm going to show you. You can mark your calendars. And then I do have something for Friday, fun at the end. I do hope that I will not get some kind of copyright claim or something. It's just a little short video, but yeah, in case, then probably if it happens, then I will then later in the recorded live stream just mute the sound, because I would like to avoid the claims. So that's about the topics. And I can see you both have a good discussion. I think let's start. Maybe before I start, so just FYI, I'm not sure if you can see it. No, he already disappeared. Okay, so there was one of the cats behind me, the tomcat, and another one is up here. Here. You probably cannot see her, so that's the other cat. So just in case something moves suddenly behind me, that's the cats. The dogs are sleeping over there. Okay, and for those of you who are new to the stream, in case people join a little bit later, so yeah, on this side I have the chat window, so I'm reading from your chats as usual. And I cannot guarantee that I will not use your chats then later in videos, as you probably have noticed. So I'm really glad that you are chiming in with your let's say, opinions and with your thoughts on some of the topics, because I think it's a good debate then also later on when I post it in a separate vid, and then people are also oftentimes commenting. So I really like the interaction. So feel free to use the chat window. And oh yeah, there's a delay when we are talking about this. So in case you don't see me reacting right away to what you have just written, I have noticed it can be, I think, about 2 minutes, up to 2 minutes, the delay. So yeah, sometimes it's quite long until I see actually your messages. So please be patient with me. Good. Let me start with the first slide. Let me just switch the screens maybe. I'm not sure if I have set up this one. See, that's something that I have missed. So there should be this one. Yeah, you will see now this. Okay, so I have prepared how long is 007 first slide. That's like the first point that I have. Then there are some other topics related to the game, but let me start with this one. I just want to check how you see the screen. And probably I should also add here myself. So I'm hoping that you can see everything fine. Cats, raccoon, and the snake in the same room. This is going to end badly. I mean, the cats sometimes like have heavy zoomies, and they love to catch everything that moves. So thankfully, you are behind the screen. Okay, so Snakey is saying I got you both. Good. Let me go to the article that we have on the screen. Let me just switch again. There were a couple of people, plus I think like people who got an early access, who were able to play for, I believe, 3 hours the game, and then also, of course, some gaming journalists. And there is this one specific article which is talking about how long the game actually is. So I think it gives us a good idea. The summary, or in summary, they are saying that like standard playthrough that normally people will probably do at least the first time, it should take the average gamer around 20 hours to beat the main campaign. Now, 20 hours honestly doesn't seem that much when you look at the price, to be honest. And then if you consider the special editions which they had, which were very, very costly, I am not sure if that's really worth the money, to be honest. So that's like the first thing that I'm going to say. there is one more thing which is added here. So technically, if you would play on a lower difficulty, the runtime could maybe drop to around 15 hours. So that's not exactly great. Or rise to 25 if you're looking for a challenge. So we're talking about like difficulty settings. And then I believe there was also a mention about, like when you're a completionist and something like that. So yeah, when you factor in the missions, the original campaign, any extra collectibles or trophies to earn, then 007 First Light could easily take upwards to 30 to 40 hours to complete. Now, that would be normally the runtime that I would expect for that amount of money as the, let's say, normal playthrough runtime. So, yeah, I don't know what you're thinking about it, but for me, it looked like when I first read 20 hours, it's not exactly a very long game. I understand that, they wanted to focus on the missions, on the replayability and the various options that you're going to have, like play the mission this way or that way, use guns and sneak around or talk your way out, etc. So they gave you more options. Technically, you can replay the game a couple of times and always get, let's say, a little bit of a different feeling. And not outcome that will be probably predefined and the same as it is, but at least like various ways to play the game. So, okay, I understand that, but still 20 hours doesn't really look that much. So that's like the first thing that I wanted to share with you. Let me check the screen what you're writing. And Snake is saying I'm too cheap for that. My dearest raccoon says, if I get it, I'll get it during a sale or something. Yeah. I was honestly looking forward to it and I wanted to buy it when it comes out and I wanted to play it and maybe try to post a little bit of a gameplay of it again on the channel as a test to see what the algorithm will do. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to, throw out the money full price for the game immediately. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm really looking forward to the game. And it looks to be a very interesting game. We're going into more details a little bit later. But if you compare it, for example, with Crimson Desert, I believe it's the same price, like 70 euros, dollars. Compare it with Crimson Desert. Hundreds of hours of playtime. Yeah, sure, it's a very different kind of game, but I mean, content-wise, or what you get for your money, it's not comparable. It's not even close. So, yeah, I have to say I wasn't so happy seeing the amount of hours. Yeah, and Raccoon is saying, so even during a completionist run, the game still isn't the standard 50 hours AAA game. Yeah. And Snake is saying Mass Effect or Halo is the only real game I will pay that for. And those were, and if you, compare it, for example, to Mass Effect, as you were saying, I believe the standard playthrough for me was about 70 to 80 hours, like I think it was Mass Effect 3. The second was probably a little bit shorter, but Mass Effect 3, when I was playing it with all the like DLCs and everything, it took me about 70 to 80 hours if I was like not really wasting my time somewhere. And it was definitely worth the money. But this is that was like double of what we are seeing for 007. So yeah, I just find it a little bit too much, to be honest. And yeah, Snakish Raccoon is saying, I don't regret paying full price for Crimson Desert. I'm 350 hours in. Oh my god. And there's still new content being added every couple of days. Yeah, I know. I have seen it. They are like patching the game non-stop, but they are still like adding with every patch. They are adding some stuff. I will be honest, I haven't started to play it yet. And just by the way, why I haven't also posted throughout this whole week a single video, because not that I'm a little bit tight on time, but also I'm trying to, let's say, finish the script for Horizon Forbidden West review. And I keep on adding and rewriting and adding and rewriting. And I'm already like very nervous because that's an endless thing at this point. I don't think that people will be watching a 45 or 50 minutes review if I do it in the full length. So I'm just afraid that I will have to like remove parts of it, and it's quite, the game is quite extensive and there's a lot that I want to talk about, but it's an endless script at this point. So I really need to like finish the script and record the audio and video, and the editing will also take me quite some time. I already know that. So the game reviews are usually very time consuming, so I'm very much apologize that I haven't posted anything, and probably during the next week what I will be posting will be a clip from this live stream for sure, just to give you something in the meantime. But yeah, I'm working on that, and it's a pretty big thing. Okay, and Snake is saying, I'm replaying Mass Effect 2 again. I think I have a problem. Okay, which one? let me know. But let me go back to the 007, because the pricing is just one part of it. And then there was, and apologies for all the ads, because it's crazy on the side with the ads, PC Gamer, of course. So what they did was playing for 3 hours. They were one of those people that had the ability to play for 3 hours. And I just found it quite funny because they were not so positive about the game, and they have been highlighting like what's wrong with it. And they've been non-stop comparing it with the Hitman. And whether it was the features or the character, etc. And I was already, when I was reading through the article, and I was already thinking, okay, look, this is not a Hitman. They had said, yes, it's like in the background, the technical setup and the engine, and it's all the same. They're using also a lot of the lessons and some of the assets that they had from Hitman, but still Bond is its own thing. And I will, of course, by the way, post all the links in the description below. And the PC Gamer journalist who has written this article has naturally keep on like going back to Hitman and comparing it. It's not such a great review. And there were a couple of things which might be true. So he was pointing out certain things which were not so great. I believe it was the story a little bit, and I'm not sure, but yeah. He has various options. I had this one. He has various options to do a mission. It's a sandbox sort of, basically, of a sort. So he was also kind of criticizing the sandbox options, that thing that the developers were highlighting as a positive thing on the game, which I mentioned at the start, that you can play a level in various ways. You can either sneak around, or you can talk your way out of situations, or you can just, use the guns, whatever, or fists, or just fight your way out. And he is also saying here that you are technically sometimes really squeezed into just a one solution, and really like the routes are not that obvious, or not that available. I'm not sure whether it was whether the criticism was really valid, because I haven't played the game yet, but it is worth reading this story and this review, and then reading the other one, which I'm going to share, because they're basically like polar opposites. This one is criticizing the game heavily, and then we had the another 3 hours review after playing 3 hours, which was by Video Games Chronicle. And you can already see it on the name of the article. It may be the Game of the Year contender. So they have like basically the exact opposite view on the game, which is kind of something that I found funny. Normally, the journalists are plus minus on the same page. So you can see when they are writing about the game, some preview and early review, usually they highlight very similar things and they have the same kind of or similar impression from the game. And here I can already see the differences in the reviews, which was kind of surprising to me, to be honest. And then when I looked into further articles, then we have Eurogamer, and also again, Eurogamer, it was praising it, the game. So you have some that are praising it, some that are criticizing it. They are, for example, saying it's they have made a cracking attempt at nailing James Bond. And then I go back to PC Gamer, which has released an article just 2 days ago, as you can see on the screen, saying that James Bond probably won't be a sexist, misogynist dinosaur. Some things fall by the wayside. And let me tell you, the reception to this statement wasn't exactly great. There were people who were saying, okay, it's a good thing that they modernize it. The question is, what do they understand under like modernizing it? So there were people who were rather, let's say, neutral. And then there were people who were saying, okay, so basically James Bond will no longer be James Bond. I don't know how you see that, but when I just see this kind of title, I wonder if it's just because it's PC Gamer. And as I have shown you, they were the ones previously already criticizing the game after the 3 hours of playing it. Or whether it's like really, whether there's some little bit of truth behind this, and whether really the character of Bond will be changed that much that basically he will just be no longer Bond. Okay, I don't know what you think about it. Let me just switch to see your comments. And Snake is saying, you hear that Raccoon is going to repost this clip. Let's make our best jokes to make her laugh. Thank you for that. Let me know what you think about this this take on the 007 first slide, because I of course I went to Reddit. I know. You don't have to say anything. I already said like my opinion about Reddit, but still, it's a good discussion sometimes there about the games. And when you go to Reddit, oh yeah, by the way, there are some like PC specs, and when you look at the reactions that there were regarding the, I think I closed the window, damn it. So I've closed the window, unfortunately. There were, again, just to give you a summary, there were also very mixed reactions, to my surprise. So some people were saying, okay, it doesn't matter, because they already said that this is a young Bond, which will just, let's say, evolve into a later version of Bond that we know from the movies. And he will be, of course, a little bit different. And then there were people who were saying, okay, so basically they are stripping Bond of the features that he's known for. And I really wonder, because of that, I really wonder what the reality is, what the truth is. And I think we should wait then for some gamers or some players start playing when the game is out and see what they are saying. So in case I will by chance buy the game, I will probably play it on not on a stream, but on the channel. At least I post 1-2 vids with some highlights. And I'm really curious. What the reality is. And when I already talk about the PC specs, they did adjust the PC specs. And if you look at the settings which are here and compare it between the minimum recommended enthusiast, they called it, and then the ultra settings, I believe some people with not so good PCs will probably really not make more or not squeeze out more of the game than 30 FPS. Yeah, maybe 60 at the recommended settings, but it depends on what setup you have. But for the higher settings, it is already quite demanding, I would say. So FYI, in case you're playing on a PC, these are the specs. I will then also post a link in the description to these specs, so you can find them for yourself. I think they are also on the side of the game. So yeah, and there are also some accessibility options and PC features here mentioned. So just for your information, let me go back to what you are writing. And yeah, I can see either the chat is stuck or you're not really writing that much. So that is the first topic that I wanted to discuss, because I'm currently having a very mixed feeling from the game. I'm not sure if you remember, I did actually post a bit very much in the beginning when they introduced the game last year. And I was saying, okay, it doesn't sound bad, but... It was also on the thumbnail. I was afraid how far this, let's say, modernization or this change will go, how much they will change the character. And if this actually is true, this let's say, statement from a PC gamer, then I think we all know what we can expect. Yeah. It won't be, or he won't be a sexist, misogynist dinosaur. Yeah. Okay. I mean, how long is Bond around? It's like 60 years or something like that. So why are the novels so beloved still until this day? And why are the people watching the movies, even the old ones? Because it's like something that the people find entertaining, because people think that this is fun to watch this representation of Bond. So let's say the sexist, misogynist dinosaur, if I put it in their words. And if you start changing the character, it depends on how many changes you do. If the character will still be Bond, or if it will be just like, I think somebody has written it there, just a average action hero and no longer really Bond. So yeah, it's kind of big question mark from my side here. So just FYI, I will definitely pick up the game. Like I said, it is, by the way, coming out in just 5 days. So we have the 22nd of May now, and the game will release on the 27th. So in just 5 days, in case you want to play it and you are looking forward, just 5 days. And let me see if I can see some new chat. Okay, I cannot, so hopefully it's not frozen. And good, let me go to the next topic. So this is about 007 First Light. The next topic that I have is Mass Effect. And this one is already a little bit older. This is, I believe, from start of April or mid of April, somewhere like that. I'm quite sure that you have already heard that. So the Mass Effect TV series that will be produced by Amazon Studios, as you can see, is on the verge because they have asked for rewrites. And rewrites in the sense that they told the writers to make it more appealing to non-gamers. I believe when this article was released, it was all over the news and the media, and people were quite pissed, especially gamers, of course, because it's not so great to see this. When you see more appealing to non-gamers, it means that it will be very likely deviating from the setup of the universe, even though they are saying that they will keep it and just write a character which is set in the universe, but not necessarily Shepard. So of course it will not be Shepard's story. They already, I think, said it also here. And it was also confirmed that it will be not about Shepard, but it will be still playing in the same universe. But I don't know. I mean, if you want to make it more appealing to non-gamers, why were the games successful in the first place? They were taking place in a universe with a specific history, with certain characters, and a certain story. And if you remove one of those things or some of those things from the formula, it will just again become some generic sci-fi, which isn't necessarily then Mass Effect. So I'm not sure what to think of this. Again, like I said, there were many negative reactions. My first thought was as well like, oh, here we go again. It will be just another Rings of Poop or something similar, because that's what we we have seen from Amazon. On the other hand, I have to agree with it, and it's also mentioned here, there's Fallout. And I think they managed to do Fallout quite well, at least in the beginning. I'm not sure what it was later. I think I've seen only the first season. And that one was quite well done. So I was fine with that, even though it's Amazon. But with them, it's kind of like 50-50. So sometimes it really works what they are doing, and they are quite well adapting it for the screen, the games. And sometimes they just completely mess it up. So yeah, I'm not sure what to think of it. So just FYI, probably you heard about this. I will be definitely mentioning this later on when there is something new and we know that there is the series already coming, then I will be letting you know. What I'm quite curious about actually is the casting, like who is going to play there, if they are going to choose like more familiar names and familiar faces, or if they are going to choose somebody less known. Let me maybe also change the screen so that I can see you, and let me switch like this. And Snake is saying, I think YouTube blocks comments, it's the Witcher TV series all over again. Yeah. I mean, Netflix and Amazon, if I would have to choose from those two, to be honest, I would choose Amazon, even though I'm not so fond of them, but Netflix is even worse. And in this case, like I said, I think it's about 50-50. There's a good chance that they are going to make a good adaptation. It will be depending a lot on the writing and then also on the casting. I'm not sure if I want to see like faces that are like too much well known, because you are then automatically associating the actor or the actress with some previous movie or series or something that you have previously seen, and not necessarily you are not so immersed into the new series which you are watching. So I believe it's a good choice to pick maybe actors or actresses which do have already, of course, some experience, but are not maybe so well known. So I'm really looking forward to seeing who's going to play there. And of course, then the writing. Who's going to be on the writing team? Because there's a lot that you can botch these days, especially. And good. Let me show you one more thing. And I was surprised, considering I am a long-time fan. I had no clue until this popped up on my timeline in X or Twitter. And before everyone gets excited, I have to say, okay, this thing is no longer around. So unfortunately, even though it looks great, it is no longer around. And what I'm talking about is, let me just switch again. And if I go here, it's a friendly reminder that a Mass Effect theme park ride exists. I had no clue. And it's called Mass Effect New Earth, right at California's Great America, set during the Reaper invasion, featuring Conrad Werner. That was like the top. Oh yeah, Conrad, Garrus and Rex. If you don't mind, I will just play a little bit from the video without the sound, because again, I don't know if I'm not going to be hit with some copyright claim or something. But right away, the first comment said, yeah, it's actually gone now. I went recently hoping to go on it one last time. The branding and N7 suits are gone, along with the cutouts of Garrus, Rex, and others. I was told that it has very limited runtimes, but it appears to be inactive. So clearly there was a theme park, right, dedicated to Mass Effect, and it's a shame that it's not, at least for many people outside of the US, it's not common knowledge that there was something like this. So just for you to see, maybe let me skip. So you can see that it was like in Seeds in 3D theater mode. It must have been awesome when you were there, and you can see it's like with the 3D glasses. So whoa, and a huge Reaper, and yeah, it must have been fun. So definitely I appreciate that somebody made this. Yeah, so somebody made this, and people could enjoy Mass Effect also this way. And I believe it's Mass Effect is a well-known name at this time, even to non-gamers. And that's why, again, I am a little bit worried when I am reading that they asked for rewrites. I don't think the rewrites are the best thing to do. If you really want to like pull in the audience to the universe, Mass Effect universe, and maybe you're hoping to, let's say, get more players and somebody will be more interested to playing the games again, and maybe read a few books, because there's a ton of books in the Mass Effect universe as well. Yeah, then making huge rewrites and making it, let's say, more feasible to non-gamers, you are deviating from the universe, from the Mass Effect universe already. So I don't know. But there is this ride. It looked quite fun, to be honest. And yeah, somebody wrote, wait, this was real? What? And yeah, it is no longer there, as you can see. So just FYI, let me switch the screen again so I can see what you're writing. And Snake is saying, what the F? No, I wish I was on that ride. What do you think I said when I've seen it for the first time? Like, oh, come on. And many people had no clue. And now that people do have more clue, it's actually gone, as you can see, like I said on the first comment here. So yeah, unfortunately. So that was like a little update on Mass Effect. I don't think there's anything new on Mass Effect 5, at least I haven't seen anything. And the series, as I was discussing, is still like ongoing. So they are working on it. I don't think there's any news yet. Yeah, when there is something, I'm going to definitely tell you when there's something new. So this was just FYI. Is some news. And then the next thing that I have is Crimson Desert. So my snakish raccoon. I think you know this. So there were 5 million copies already sold. That was actually in the middle of April, so already a month ago. I'm quite sure that they have sold much more in the meantime. And yeah, they are doing non-stop patches. And you can also see every time when they are posting something that there's like very positive feedback. And I believe they have like a lot of followers. Yeah, they have already at this time, at least on X, like almost 145,000 followers, which is nice. They are, of course, on other social media platforms as well. But yeah, it's a great game. And I can still see some new posts with some fun stuff, which people are posting. Like either they found something which was hidden, or like I have been showing you the last time, the fight with the fan. So that one was quite funny. So I'm looking forward to starting to play this one, to be honest. Finally, I hope I will have the time. And then more Crimson Desert. I don't know if you knew, but they have merch. So they have actually released an information that they have now a Crimson Desert collection, and I actually do like it. If you look at the pictures, let me just make it a bit bigger. So it does look really cool, and the quality also, at least from what I could see, it looks like really, really well. You can see there are some shirts, so some hoodies, some shirts, and I think there's something more. And let me click if I can go to the page, but let me just go through the pictures here. So you can see a little bit what it looks like. And I love this one. So this is really awesome. And I like that it's in blue, of course. Let me click on the link to see. Yeah, okay, so it takes us to the page. Damn, look at the embroidery. So it's really, really good looking. What are the prices? 82.47. So the hoodie is 82. The t-shirt is 47. I mean, okay, it's a little bit on the more expensive side, but okay, it's still like I understand it's a brand which they are having, and usually it's not some very cheap fabric or some cheap producer. So usually it is something really of high quality. So okay, if I close both eyes, the price is okay. And they provide here a little bit of the detail. And they have some other stuff as well, I can see. Okay, so interesting. Probably worth it to check out the page. I will definitely post a link in the description below. But yeah, they have now also merch. So this could be interesting for you. Let me switch to see what you are talking about. And yeah, Snacky Raccoon is saying, I'm back. Sorry, internet is being weird at Friday evening. Come on, it's normal. I don't even want to know what would be tomorrow, like on Saturday. Usually also here you can see that it's the weekend, and the speeds are not exactly the best. I was actually wondering whether I'm not going to schedule like an extra stream somewhere during a Saturday. It was easier for me than on a Friday. But yeah, I can see that the speeds are not the best over the weekend. I mean, it's still quite fine. I'm just not sure if it would be feasible for streaming. Let me put it that way. So yeah. And yeah, Snake is saying they had a Mass Effect, right? Yeah, that was back for the ride. Yeah, I mean, it's a great idea. Come on, it must have been a lot of fun to be there and to watch it. By the way, they a little bit of something different, but connected to this like kind of 3D. I don't know if you have heard, at least for those of you who are in Europe, in Prague, they have made a huge like a 3D observation room or deck for it's in an like astronomy building, and they are making also like 3D projections, like flying through space and stuff like that. I think it's the biggest one in Europe. I will have to Google it and find it, but it just reminded me, when I've seen the people there with the 3D glasses and watching, the Mass Effect stuff, the Reapers, etc. I was just realizing, okay, it's something that is also relatively close by, which is related to space, but the real space, not Mass Effect. I will have to Google it, and I will have to check it out. Let me see if I can in the meantime. But so playing Mass Effect 3, that's from Snaky Raccoon, and the emotional roller coaster that was its awful ending. Don't even remind me. Like I said already elsewhere, I am not playing the game with the original ending. I think I've played it like once, maybe twice, not sure. And I was, you're calling it emotional roller coaster. I will say I was pissed as hell. This stupid Star Child. It was just, no. Basically, none of the choices you did over the span of 3 games mattered. Nothing mattered. Shepard died anyway. And I was like, nah, this is not how I want the story to end. And thankfully, somebody had the same idea and made the happy ending mod, which I think it was whether it's still or it was just at a certain point, it was like the most downloaded mod for The Witcher 3. This happy ending mod, and I am only playing with that mod since that time. So my Shepard is alive and well on the Citadel. I think I'm not. I haven't lost anyone like significant. Of course, naturally those that die during the game because that's how it's set up. But my Shepard's alive and well, and the happy ending mod is quite a nice, change of the ending. It doesn't necessarily, let's say, end the conclusion of the story in the sense that you will get rid of the Reapers, but at least you don't have to deal with that stupid Star Child and that nonsense that it was, because they completely removed it. That I think that was the most annoying character in a game like in the last 20 years or something for me. Like, oh, come on, no. So, yeah. And Snake is saying, I'm colorblind, 3D don't work on me. Oh, damn. It's on one hand, I think you can still like enjoy at least like watching it from in 2D perspective. Still, if you have it on a really huge screen somewhere in a theater or something, it is still something that is nice to enjoy. And it's a shame that you cannot see it in 3D. But I was wondering, like, how is it? I think there's like different kinds of being colorblind. You can just be colorblind to certain colors, or is it like you are completely colorblind? If I may, if you don't mind, because I had a colleague previously, and I think he was colorblind to just two colors. So he did see colors, but all the other ones. So. And it was fun because he was like describing like how he perceives the stuff, like in what colors he's seeing it, and it was quite fun for me to realize, okay, it's a very different view of the world when you don't see it the same way as the other people. So just asking because I'm curious, but of course you don't have to reply if you don't want to. And Snaky Raccoon is saying, I'd love to see a video with your take on the ending, to be honest. That's a good idea. 100 years after the game was released, I will be doing a video on it. But yeah, I will probably, because if you remember, I think it was us too. We had the discussion regarding the synthesis ending, and I was explaining to you how I perceived it, because it was, I think, different than what you have written. I think it was us two. We were discussing it once. I believe I had it somewhere stored, but I'm not sure. And yeah, it could be. So Snake is saying red-green. Okay, so you can see blue and you can see yellow then, right? Or yeah, I think you I mean, it could be interesting. I will have to Google it. I will Google it. I promise. I will Google it, because that's it's actually interesting to know that there is somebody who perceives it in a different way. Do you see the red and green like different in like, let's say, a shade of a different color? So do you see it still in a color, but like in a, like it's different, like, I don't know, brown maybe, or purple or something? Like, do you still perceive it that it's a different color than, I don't know, blue or yellow? And do you just see it in a different way? Or is it like you are completely not seeing that color? Like, I'm just asking. So sorry for asking a lot like this, but it makes me always curious, because it's a very different way of how people are perceiving the world. And it's always very interesting to get this kind of feedback, because it's a different side that you yourself are not knowing about. I also had a colleague once, very long time ago, who could hear very badly, and she said, okay, I can at least like focus a lot on the mouse, because she wasn't even like wearing the hearing aid, and she said, I can still hear something, but like not completely. And we were talking about it, like, okay, how is it, how do you perceive, I don't know, music, because she was listening to music, and so she was describing it, and it was quite interesting. I think the best thing that she said was like, yeah, you know, but if you really like want to, you have your peace, because you just walk a little bit away from the people and you hear nothing, and you just see, and you have your peace. So I was having a good laugh, because she said, like, okay, if I don't want to listen, I don't listen, and I don't hear anything. So it was quite fun to talk to her, and she was like also having, she was taking it with a lot of humor. Let me put it that way. So green light are white. So light green color is white. Okay. If the color takes red or green to make it, I cannot see it. Like the purple looks blue to me. Hey, okay, so that's interesting. Do you have like someone who has to tell you when you don't match, for example, clothing? Like, or are you aware that? Are you so far already aware that you know, realize, okay, that this and this might not be maybe going together, or you're just, okay, you're just saying, okay, I don't care because I'm a guy. So I know already that there are people also like this, like, okay, I am a guy, I don't care if it's matching. I'm just wondering, okay, sorry to asking so much, it's just interesting. It has to be a very strong green for me to see it as a different color, sometimes gray. Okay. Okay, a whole new world. But back to massive, and thank you, by the way. Thank you very much for sharing that info. It's always interesting to hear that. Back to Mass Effect, Snackish, I think you just gave me a good idea. Might be interesting to talk about the endings. I'm just not sure if people will be tuning into that video, like I said, like 100 years after the game's release. Somebody then now makes a new video, like, yeah. But yeah, it's not a bad topic to discuss, for sure. And Snake is writing, but I did get the colorblind glasses that can make me see color, but it's not the same thing as you see. But it's a big difference. So they are working, because I was kind of skeptical. I have seen a couple of vids where people like get this as a gift from their family and loved ones, and I was wondering if it's actually really working. So if it does, and you are saying, okay, it's not the same thing, but if it's a big difference, then I think that's a great thing. Then at least you have, like, again, another perspective. Actually, you have like the advantage then. You can either take the glasses off or you can leave them on, and you have two different perspectives. See, you have a plus point. Yeah, what we don't have. So yeah, it's interesting. Okay, guys, let me go to another topic. And Snakish is just writing, mine didn't perform well either, but I had to get it off my chest, because, not gonna lie, I'm still salty about the ending. I think many people still are salty about that ending. Yeah. I think I've mentioned it already a couple of times, and I was replaying the third game when I started the channel 2023. And I think that's when I was playing this hardcore with the one pistol only, etc. And I think I've mentioned it there as well already. Like, come on, this is going to be a playthrough with the happy ending mod because I'm not playing it without it. So yeah, I'm salty about the ending still as well. I think many people are. And Snake is saying, my wife tells me all the time, yes, you have an advantage technically. You can have two different views. Yeah, it's good. And Snakish Raccoon is saying, do it to get it off your chest too, Sisa, because I want to know your point of view. And John is here. Hey, John. Hey, nice to see you. You're not late, I would say. This time I did start on time. I wasn't late. But yeah, very nice to see you here. We have been discussing already 007 and a little bit Mass Effect. You could just see it and hear it. And regarding 007, I said, okay, there's I will post the links in the description below. There are some people and some game journalists who have been able to play the game already for a couple of hours. And to my surprise, the reviews for the game were very different, even from like journalist to journalist, which was like something that I didn't expect. Normally they are having almost the same opinion. So I'm really curious as to what the game will be like when it releases. So just FYI, very quick summary. In the Snake is also writing, the colorblind glasses only work if you have the color cone in your eye. But if you are born without it, you can see it. Okay, yeah, because they basically just correct how that color cone is perceiving the color. Okay, so if it's like not there, nothing to correct. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I wasn't sure if it's like really working, but okay, thanks a lot for the info. Yeah, learned something new again. Good. Let me pull up the next topic. Let me just see what I have on the screen and just oh yeah. So the next big topic, Exodus. Let me switch the screen. So as you can see, there's been, I mean, this is from like a community update from April, but they posted it by the end of April, start of May, somewhere like this. So it's about 3 weeks old. And they did summarize here in the community update, basically what they are posting, the little snippets. I'm not sure if you have noticed, but on their channel, they are having like little snippets, little videos. They're posting them every week on Thursday. And it's just like 30 seconds, 1 minute. One was a little bit longer. That was the 1 minute 54. That was because they wanted to show how the dialogues are working. And here in this community post, they are a little bit explaining like what each of those posts means and what you can see and hear there. What's the background for that particular bit. So I think that's quite great that you get some more information here. And I'm sure that you have also spotted that I have used some of these little snippets videos also in my previous updates, which I have posted. And I have to say, I really like, from a visual perspective, I really liked the game and what they were posting, the snippets. There were a couple of things which made me a little bit like wary. I said, okay, it's hard to judge. For example, the dialogues. People are split on the dialogues that we have heard. So some people say it's great. Some people say it's not so great. I don't think that I want to judge based on a 1 or 2 minute video, which was the one that I was showing you, this one. Because first of all, it's aside from your main character, you are talking to one specific character which is written in a specific way. We don't really know the background of the character. We don't know what big overall the character will be playing. And it's hard to judge based on just one dialogue, either the character as such or whether all of the dialogues will be, I don't know, good or bad. It's not some judgment that I would like to do right now. I would love to see more. I think what they were trying to show here with the snippet from the dialogue system was rather like what kind of options you have, what can you choose from, what continuation of the dialogue you will be getting if you choose a specific option. So I think that's what they wanted to just show, and they wanted you to focus on that. Of course, people were automatically focusing also on the character as such, and on the maybe voice actress or voice actor as well for the main character. Like I said, I would like to hear and see more. It is hard to judge from such a short snippet. And in talking about hearing more, they have posted not so long ago that there will be a extensive gameplay that will be shared, which will be showing more from the game and hopefully also more from the dialogues and the interactions between the characters, and maybe hopefully also some upgrade systems. And as you can see, June 6th, so that will be by the end of the live stream. I will have a small overview of what's upcoming, and if you are looking forward to the game and you would like to see more, definitely June the 6th is something that you should put into your calendar. I will be definitely watching the extended gameplay and see whether, let's say, I get a better feeling for the dialogues, for example. And as you can see, I was also writing to Gaming Birch because specifically this one scene, if you look at it, it gives me strong Star Wars vibes, I have to say. Whether it's the background, that ship in the background, or in general the surroundings, the environment, I just, for some reason, I had a huge Star Wars feelings here. I mean, it's a sci-fi, and Gaming Birch was also replying, we might have some first impressions soon after the extended gameplay. And I heard a couple of content creators were invited to play a preview version, but currently they are under NDA. So when the NDA ends, then we will probably see some early reviews or previews. You know my take on that, and I believe it's very hard for me to believe someone to take their word for it if they have some exclusive kind of access in this way and they have some NDA. Not because I wouldn't trust some of the reviewers, but who knows what's in the NDA. And we know that there have been companies where part of the NDA has been that basically until the game releases, you can make an early review and you can post it at a certain time. But technically, you were not able to say, let's say, nothing really negative. I mean, there were a couple of content creators who already said that certain companies have certain NDAs which work this way. And it's not explicitly written there, but yeah, basically they want to approve everything that you are preparing. And of course, if they don't like something, that they will tell you, okay, you have to remove it. So for me, it's very hard to trust those early reviews. For me, if somebody will make an early review, it will be more important probably to see just, I don't know, the weapons and upgrade system, how it works. That will be something that will be visible for you, whether the person liked it or not. But I will not 100% believe if somebody tells me it's an awesome game and everything's perfect. I would be very careful with that. So, but there is something probably upcoming, so we need to keep an eye on that. Let me switch the screens just to see what you are writing, and there's a lot. And yeah, Johnny saying, what different journal reviews? Yes, I was very surprised myself. And Snake is saying, I have real night vision because of my color blindness. Okay. Okay, as long as you don't have the predator vision, you're fine. And see, that would be again funny thing, to know how you have perceived the if you have watched the Predator, you know, the portions where the Predator is looking at the people in, I think in, I'm not sure if it was like ultraviolet or infrared or something. Yeah, that would be interesting to know. And John is saying, didn't the Exodus main dev bail? Yeah, that was the vid that I've made also about the interview with James Olen. It didn't really answer, let's say, the questions that probably most of us had in terms of, okay, what was behind him leaving? Was it really just, let's say, the burnout that he was talking about the whole time? Or was there more? And that is the reason why I'm even more looking forward to the gameplay reveal and to see more from the game, because I think that will be also a hint to know whether there was something going on in the background. I believe that as to a certain amount, he was hoping for a certain creative freedom with his vision that he had for the game. And I believe this one was not the best idea when he partnered with a corporation like Wizards of the Coast. I mean, if you want to have creative freedom, you will probably not get all the financing that you need, because you should probably not partner with these huge publishing companies, because they will restrict you in what they want in the game and what they don't want in the game. On the other hand, yeah, then you have restricted resources, and it's a question. I mean, he made the choice. He partnered right away with Wizards of the Coast, so I'm quite sure, coming from a corporation, BioWare, he must have known what this will mean for him and the game development. So I'm not sure into what extent they did influence what is there and what is not. So, and the interview with him didn't really answer this question. Like I said, it makes me even more curious to see more from the game. And Snake is saying, and by the way, you can Google pictures where they make it look like you have colorblind. Oh, good point. Okay, thanks, will do. And Vindral is here. Hey, we had a great discussion, and I think I forgot to reply to you because you've made such a great comment with so many good points. And I was reading through it, and I said, okay, this really requires, I should be going back to you with an extensive reply, and you deserve it because you took so much effort with the posting the comment. And we did start to have a discussion after the first post, and then I have read your reply, and then I just didn't have the time anymore to reply. So, but I will come back to that. I promise, big promise. But thanks, because that was really great what you have posted. Good points. I really was enjoying that. And regarding the dialogue, I'd say it's rather worrying. Out of all the possible dialogues they chose to show this sequence, they knew they were expected to show this, and yet they didn't want to show anything else. Yes. On the other hand, I don't know if how far they are really in the development in terms of whether they don't want to polish certain scenes still, which are part of those, where the dialogues are part of those scenes. Maybe they didn't want to release something that would not be yet so polished, because people would of course criticize them. The other one is maybe some of the dialogues reveal too much, but yeah, you are right. There is a reason why they released specifically this one. So it makes you wonder. That's why I was saying in the beginning, I don't want to judge the quality of the writing or the dialogues based on 1.5 minutes. I will wait for more dialogues and some extended gameplay, to be honest. It's really not easy to say based on such a short clip whether it will be good or not. And John is saying content creators paid off shields. Yeah, you mean the ones with the early access? Many of them are, yeah. There are some which are, let's say, not, let's say, the studio shields. Those are just, variety channels as well, and they just because they have a big audience, then they get a chance to play early some of the games, and then you have those really like the let's say studio shills. I could talk about some BioWare studio shills, but yeah, I don't want to talk about other people nasty here on the live stream. I think you all know my takes on some people, at least some of you. And Weebs is here. Hi, it's so great to see you, and I'm really happy that there are so many people joining the stream. It's really nice to see you all here. And yeah, it's great that you are here. I was worrying whether you will have the time to join, and I also was apologizing in the beginning. I didn't really stream for a bit again, so I will try to keep up a more regular schedule. And yeah, happy for you to be here. Like a billion tabs on the browser, as usual. Come on, every stream is like that. And yeah, Wizards of the Coast is gonna wreck this. That's from John. And I'm afraid that there will be certain parts of the game which will be heavily influenced by them. Yeah, I keep on comparing it. I think I also said it already previously. Last year, I think. Wizards of the Coast in my book are not exactly the greatest influence on anything they touch, because my, let's say, negative influence stems from reading Salvatore's books, you know, The Legend of the Drist, etc. And I'm pretty sure he cannot say it openly, but whether he wants to say it or not, it was clearly visible over time when Wizards of the Coast have, let's say, financed some of the stuff of his and his writing and some of his projects, that they had more and more influence. And over time, some of the story has changed, some of the characters have a little bit changed, you know. So, and you could see where it's heading. And it's just the Wizards of the Coast influence all over those books. So when I heard Wizards of the Coast also here in the game, yeah, I wasn't so fond of that. And Snackish Raccoon is saying, I'll be 100% with you. I'm not as hopeful about this one. There are just way too many sus things going on. I mean, I have a better feeling from Osiris Reborn. I will also say that visually the game looks fantastic. Both games look fantastic, but a visual side is not everything. And I could see that also, for example, on Horizon Forbidden West. I mean, visually a spectacle. But there are things in the game which are just simply lacking, which people are noticing. And yeah, it's not all. So I agree with you on that one. And let me scroll through the comments a little bit. John is saying Sven was tough enough to face Wizards of the Coast. Won't happen again. Yeah, good, but he's an exception in the gaming industry, I would say. Like, there's not really so many people like him. So yeah, and I do have to say, like, I'm saying this with the biggest respect. I wish there would be more Sven Vinkes in the gaming industry. So, yeah. And Snackish is saying the Expanse is the game I've got more faith in. We're on the same page here. Yeah. And John is saying agreed. Snackish, they're trying to promote the game, so it stands to reason that they're choosing high quality clips, and if that's high quality to them, it spells trouble for the game as a whole, not gonna lie. And John is saying Unreal 5 slop. Yeah, that's the problem, that Unreal Engine 5, it's very universal for the game development to use, because you don't have to like teach a new person in the studio like how to work in your own in-house engine. If they come from any other studio and they have worked with Unreal Engine 5, they can just step in and work right away. But Unreal Engine 5 has its downsides, and we all know that, and that's like all, probably partially it's these kind of facial expressions with the weird ones, those dead eyes. We have noticed that in a couple of games already. Even when they try to make them look more, let's say, alive, it's not the same if you compare it with some of the older games from a couple of years ago that were made with different engines. Those eyes just don't look so great, and you always have a feeling that you're talking like to a figurine. So that's Unreal Engine 5 for you. And also, what to be honest, what pisses me off is when I see Unreal Engine 5 game, I already know that I will have to make a hell of a lot of space on the PC, and I will probably have to delete something in the meantime just to be able to, install the game, because it's like using, I don't know, 150 gigabytes. Like, those games are so extensive. And usually they are so extensive just because, I don't know, you can see the what stuff that I have been already highlighting, every single leaf on a tree. I don't need to see every single leaf on a tree. I don't really care. But yeah, because they do include so much detail, of course, the game is just bloated to... It's just immensely huge. And that's also something from my... PC gaming or technical point of view, something that I'm not really so fond of. Like, it's really awful. And John is mentioning just watch the facial expressions, exactly. And Snakish is saying, that's the thing, John, I'd be willing to ignore facial animations. Mass Effect is notorious for the two. If the writing was good, but the writing is... yeah. Like I also said already with a couple of games, it looks to me often like they are focusing on the visual side, and they are just ignoring everything else, the writing, the dialogues, the story, like whatever you can imagine. It's just, yeah. Let me maybe just switch so you can see me better and I can read the stuff here. And Snakish is saying, my problem with the dialogue was how it sounded, not as much how it looked. That's what I meant with, I don't want to judge, because maybe the character was written like this on purpose in case you are talking about the female character, because I was at first like, okay. I did compare it in my head to a couple of other characters which I have also recently, let's say, met in a game. Again, I come back to Horizon Forbidden West that I just finished playing. And there was a character... which was written in a specific way, which was to me extremely annoying. The character as such was, let's say, interesting. She had very good positive characteristics, but the way how she behaved, no. So in this case also here, somebody said in a comment somewhere that she sounded like a female Mordin from Mass Effect. And sort of it fits. So it was kind of this type of dialogue, although let's say Mordin did sound a little bit more sophisticated than the lady here in that small little teaser. But like I said, I don't want to judge. Maybe it was just really the way how the character was written and the voice actress. You never know. So that's why I said I want to see more of the dialogues with different people and with different characters. And then it will be easier to say, okay, is it in general a problem in the writing, or was it just specifically that one character that I just wasn't so fond of? At least for me. Okay, so yeah. And the Snakish is saying, but bad writing and bad facial animations, and cry emoji. Yeah, I think Mass Effect Andromeda, the original unmodded state, comes very close to this one. So I can understand why you are crying. Yeah. Like I said, I wouldn't even have started playing Mass Effect Andromeda without the mods. And when I've seen, and I remember when I've seen the first pictures and the first videos way back when the game released in its original state, kind of the same. And John is saying, Claire Obscure devs did optimize Unreal 5 a lot. It can be done. And that's the point. Like, you can use the game engine, and if you take the time to optimize the stuff and to focus on the correct things in the game and during the game development, then it can be a hell of a great game. But I have the feeling that most of the studios just really don't care. They really they just want to make it look fantastic, and optimization or any other stuff that just goes out the window. Yeah. So and Snakish is saying, as of Sisa, the way you read. What do you mean? I hope I'm still understandable. Love that. Okay, thanks. And John is saying it's not plug and play. Snake is saying my heart can take this game if it sucks. Unreal Engine is ahead of its time. The technology needs to catch up for the average gamer. Don't using it too much. And I also think the problem is if at least at the moment what we have seen, the technology on the development side has improved quite a lot, but it also means that the demands on the technical side than for the gamers is much bigger. So in order to be able to play these games, you already have to have a very good setup at home, and a good PC, and a good CPU and GPU, and at a certain point, especially now with the RAM crisis, which is still ongoing, and I don't think it will stop so soon, people will not be able to keep up with these demands. So sooner or later, you will reach a point where the people will no longer buy these games, not because, I don't know, they're bloated or because they cost too much, but simply because nobody can play them anymore, because they would have to invest thousands into a new computer, which the people just don't have. So at a certain point, the devs will have to tone it down again. And like John pointed out, it is clearly doable. Clair Obscur has done it, so they just need to pay attention to that. Let's just pay less attention to seeing every leaf on a tree, and let's just pay more attention to optimizing the games for people who have maybe not the newest PCs and not the newest tech. Yeah. And Snakish is saying, no, I meant you read the emoji. Okay, not reading in general. You read great, thank you. Yeah, and the chat should be visible even during the replay and during the recording. But yeah, it's hard to read the sentence on the camera and then not finish it. So, and I meant the sound you made for the emoji. Okay, and Whips is saying gaming is a luxurious hobby, and it is becoming a very luxurious hobby. And I was just saying it also, I think you joined later, but we were discussing 007, the runtime. That was the very first thing in the beginning of the stream. And the first reviews were that the total runtime is around 20 hours, maybe 25. And if you really are a completionist and you look for some additional stuff, then maybe 30-40 hours. Compare that, because it costs $70, and now compare that to Crimson Desert, or compare that to some other games which are costing $70 but have a much longer runtime. So this is still the standard edition, and then if you remember, there have been these other editions like these collectibles that were there, etc., which cost $200. So $200 for a 20-hour long game. Yes, of course, you get some gadgets and stuff, sure. But it's still tied to a game with a runtime of 20 hours. No, sorry, but it's just a no from me. Yeah. And John is saying, well, we just need more Central Europe and Greek accents. Yes, Snacky, you have to make some more of it. See? John is asking for Greek accents, so you have to make more of it. And Evindral is saying, I stopped chasing PC power. 7900 XTX, 7700X, yeah, so GPU, CPU. I sold everything and bought a PS5 Pro, and honestly, it runs very well. You lose the ability to use mods, but I spend more time applying mods than actually playing anyway. Okay, this reminds me of something, Mass Effect Andromeda. Yeah, we will come to the topic of PS5 actually, and it's a good thing probably that you've bought it right now, because I'm going to show you something. News have been all over the media lately in the past few days, and we'll be going to that. I will be honest, I'm just not fond of being squeezed into an environment where I have a specific store from which I have to buy, and I have to rely only on the pricing which is there. That's the first thing. The second is I do love my mods as well, and I rather spend like 100 hours modding a game before I even start than not having the option at all. So I'm kind of and yeah, the third thing, which I have already mentioned a couple of times, and I know it's my own problem, but I absolutely hate the controller. So if somebody would give me a game to play and give me a controller into the hands, then I would just laugh and say, okay, thanks, that's it. And yeah, keyboard and mouse only, sorry, but I have tried many times over the years. I'm just not a friend with a controller. The controllers hate me and I hate the controllers. So this would be probably the biggest problem for me. Yeah. But in general, yeah, it's... I'm quite happy with PC gaming, to be honest. But I can understand if somebody wants to switch. So it depends. If some people have even both, so they have a PC, they have a console at home, and this way they can play all sorts of games. Maybe also those that are just exclusive for the console. So I can understand that. So yeah, well, for me it's not so great, but yeah. And John is saying, no more race swaps, more dialogue swaps. Yeah. And Snake is saying, yeah, that's the main problem with Unreal Engine. You have to spend an arm and a leg to make it look good, to make it work at its full potential. It's not worth the payout right now if the technology gets cheaper, then yes. And yeah, Snake is saying, John, you're too kind. That's regarding the accents. The more you use them, the better you get in them, Sisa. And John is saying, main prob with Unreal Engine 5 is unoptimized bloat, not the basic tech. Yeah, that's what I mentioned before. It's how bloated the games are. It's just awful. And Snakish is saying, when I play on my laptop after playing on my PS5 for a while, it takes some time getting used to, and vice versa. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. And also Snakish, though, to be honest, consoles aren't cheap anymore either. Like I said, I will be coming to that topic afterwards. I have something to show you. Because that one was not so great, to be honest. Yeah, both for me and for the people using consoles, like both for me as a PC gamer and people using consoles. Some stuff is not so great. Let me check which topic I have next. Oh yeah, okay, let me switch again a little bit to the desktop. So as you can see, Saturday, June 6th, mark it in your calendars. That's when we get the extended gameplay. And then there were some beta highlights from the Expanse Osiris Reborn. So people are continuing to playing the beta. It is open for a year, definitely. I mean, they are planning to release, or almost a year, they are planning to release the final game around end of the first quarter in next year. So we have months to go with the beta in case you want to test it out. And what I really liked was that they were like preparing some overview of the key points. Let me just click on that. I will show you the beta highlights. They have also like summarized here how many hours people were playing, what kind of choices they made. I don't want to necessarily turn on the sound here, and I'm hoping it will not automatically turn on, but I think it's turned off. Yeah, it's turned off because they're using like all sorts of music, and like I said, I don't want to get some copyright claim, but let me just show you, but I will have to stop it in the meantime. And I think there's some interesting stats that were there. Let me just stop it when they start to pop up. In case you haven't seen it, it's also, I think, on YouTube, like a separate vid, short vid on YouTube. So I'm going to list it there. And yeah, I think there was something right away. Okay, so more than 21,000 players have already played the beta. So that's quite a lot. And this one was interesting. So 60 million bullets have been fired, 2.8 million headshots have landed, 67,638 via opportunity attacks, so they defeated the enemies, and then players have spent 153 hours in tactical combat. There's a lot more of those stats. I don't want to spoil everything to you. Just have a look at the video. I will definitely link it, or you can check out their YouTube channel, and they have the video there. It's just very fast, so a fair warning, you have to do it the same way as I did. You have to stop just to read through, because it's otherwise too fast. But those are crazy numbers, like 60 million bullets fired. That's a lot, damn it. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff there. Let me just switch to see your chat, because I think you have been writing something. And yeah, Weebs is writing condolences for joining Sony Universal. Wait, I have something for the end of the stream. I understand why you're writing condolences, because that was my first reaction after seeing some news. And Snake is saying, I'm married to a Romanian, I'm used to the accent. Oh, come on. That's very close to some of our accents that we have, sorry, in the let's say, eastern and southern parts of Europe. So, nice greetings to your wife then. That's nice to see that you have someone from Europe. And John is saying, let's see how the Steam Machine Minicom plays out. Is that a bad word? No, why? I hope not. Did you post something that was like deleted in the meantime? Because YouTube algorithm is still like going crazy with deleting some comments. I don't know how it will end out with the Steam Machine. That's a good option, actually. Honestly, they made a good move to work on that. If they manage to be successful, they will be a big like opposite to the consoles, and have like a separate new market, which will be something that somebody hasn't explored yet. And B, they also have then the same platform, which they already have, for selling you the game. So technically, yeah, if it works out, it will be quite an interesting option for, at least for people who maybe cannot afford the really expensive stuff. Definitely. And John is saying it got blocked, so something got blocked? Oh, good lord. What word was that when it got... okay, like again, I have to re-emphasize, I have only a few words blocked. Naturally, those starting with F. I will use it on the stream as also fuck, definitely, because sometimes the comments, or the when too many comments under a video are containing, let's say, this kind of nasty words which YouTube doesn't like, even though it's like normal other language, I would say, then they are throttling down the impressions for the video, and they are just not pushing it out to so many people to see. So that's like one negative. That's why I'm having the word as such, let's say, blocked, but blocked in a sense that it just pops up in my YouTube studio, and I can still release the comment if I want. So it's not like it's getting deleted. And then I have the other words, which I have set up as like to be blocked, and for a review. It's like, I don't know, here's my promo or social media promo. You know that there are some bots like which are doing promo in the comment section or under certain videos. So I want to like stop these promotions from these bots. So I do have the words blocked, which are going just hand in hand with this, and no other words. And for whatever reason, I'm not even sure which comment it was. I think it was recently, and I'm not even sure if it wasn't from the one from Vindral. There was a comment that you have posted, which was completely a normal comment, not including a single curse word, nothing like even remotely offending. And it got like blocked, like for review. And I'm looking at it like, what am I supposed to review here? So I just released the comment, but it got stuck. And sometimes I really don't know why it gets stuck. And then I have seen some comments just simply get deleted. Again, it happened once or twice lately, 2-3 weeks ago. Somebody posted a comment. I have got a notification that there is a comment, and I have just clicked on the notification, and I have just seen the start of the comment. You don't see it completely because you have to like open it, but I have seen the start of the comment, and I was reading, and boom, suddenly it disappeared. And I'm like, okay, did the person delete the comment or what happened? Gone. It wasn't even in my YouTube studio, like for review or something. It looked like a completely normal comment, deleted. So I have no words anymore for YouTube. YouTube's algorithm. Don't even get me started on that one. I apologize if some comments get deleted, but like really, I'm trying not to limit the words too much, because then everything will get stuck. And I honestly don't know how this YouTube comment algorithm is set up. It's a mystery, honestly, because completely normal comments with normal words are being blocked sometimes, and sometimes even disappear. So, if you're watching like channels like Deep Humor, which I mentioned also on my channel here during a live stream, just have a look at his videos. He's posting like every second, third day a video like what's wrong with YouTube. There's always something new that's wrong. It's just crazy. So no comment there. And Snake is saying YouTube delete my comments all the time, and I don't know why. That's exactly what I'm saying, because I can see even completely normal comments disappearing. There's not even something offensive there. I have no clue. And Snackish is saying, be right back. Okay. And Vindral, I often had major problems posting comments on YouTube, especially when discussing Veilguard and adjectives related to the culture war. And that's a good thing, but I'm not sure if there is some filter in the background on YouTube for that, because YouTube clearly loves the woke crap, to be honest. And yeah, it could be that certain words like are triggering the deletion algorithm. I constantly had to find synonyms to try and post my comments on multiple videos. And that's awful. I mean, that's something that I really dislike on this day and age, that instead of having a normal discussion like adults, we are being limited because somebody might be offended who's really having a childish take on something, right? So, nah, I'm not fond of that, to be honest. Especially with the background that I have, or that we have here in the area, which I mentioned already before. You know, we had commies until 1989, and then we were limited in what we can say and how we can say it. Exactly the same what's happening now, and I'm just absolutely pissed, because I can see now on a large scale again somebody trying to limit police the people's speech, like which words you can say and which ones not. Oh, come on. Like, if you have lived through it in the past, you are just, you absolutely hate to see that. So I hate it even more. Trust me. And John is saying, I don't comment on your normal bits anymore. They don't count now anyway. And yeah, it's the impressions have gone to hell, to be honest. Like on the last couple of videos, which I have, like since the last live stream, all the videos that I have released, they have like less than 100 views. And before that, I had hundreds of views. So, and then I watched like the impressions. Of course, I cannot get more views if YouTube is not pushing out the videos into the algorithm. They like send it to, I don't know, 1,000 people. And if from the 1,000 people, many people are not watching the video, that they stop pushing it out. And that's what I meant also last time on the stream, that what is really hurting you in the end is they are pushing now the videos to people who are not even gamers. They are giving the impressions to people who are just not interested. It's not your core audience. Instead of pushing out the videos to subscribers first and then see whether the subscribers actually like the vid, because if my own subscribers don't like the vid, then it is definitely a shitty vid. If my subscribers do like the vid and comment on it and give it a thumbs up, then it's probably worth, pushing out into the algorithm. And they changed this logic, and now they are pushing it out to anyone across the board, all over YouTube, even to people who are absolutely not interested in gaming. So of course you don't get that many views, and they stop the impressions after a while because it's not a good video. The logic is broken behind it, right? So, and then of course in general the impressions are going down. So I have seen the impressions going down, and they are like down by 40, 50%. Not really great, to be honest. So there's changes in YouTube currently. Again, they changed something on the algorithm, and that's why I was also mentioning that they probably will post some gameplay again, because it doesn't matter anymore. Before, I stopped doing the gameplay on the channel because it was really hurting my these impressions, and then my videos got really very few views. And when I stopped doing the playthroughs, then suddenly YouTube picked up on the channel and started to push the videos out. But now, like I said, since the last stream, it doesn't matter what a video it was about, what topic it was about. There's just no impressions and no views and nothing. So if I get 60 views from a video that I work, I don't know how many hours on, I get the same from a playthrough video. So why not give you from time to time some playthrough video as well? I know that some people were already asking about it, or were commenting, okay, it's a pity that not just me, but a lot of other gamers have stopped doing the playthroughs. Who can still do it are big channels, because even if they get hurt a little bit afterwards by the algorithm, they still get enough, let's say, views and impressions because they are big. But it really does hurt small channels. But in case I'm getting anyway small views, then I don't really care anymore at this point. Yeah, well, it's not really making me happy because it's like very volatile. You have no clue. You actually have no clue whether your video is good and interesting or not, because you don't even know to whom it was pushed out. If it was not interesting for the audience that might not be interested in gaming at all, or if the video is really shit, you have no clue before you at least had a chance to realize, okay, is it good or is it not? Because the algorithm worked in a different way. I think that this is something that many creators are struggling with. How are you supposed to know? Yeah, I mean, not everyone is getting a lot of comments, so naturally then you have no idea. Yeah. But in any case, John, thank you very much for at least for the comments that you're posting. I know it can be frustrating. We talked about it, so I'm really happy that you are posting and that you are joining the stream. It's really nice. And Vindral is also saying, I suspect YouTube is banning certain keywords from the vocabulary, and it's not specific to your channel. It was happening everywhere on YouTube. Exactly. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, and I have seen a lot of people commenting on something similar. Yeah, it's very Orwellian, 1984. Agreed. Yeah. And Snake is saying it's the AI program. If it has 3 or more words of something can be bad, it will automatically block it because it would think you're going to say something bad next. It's literally using the best guess. And it reminds me of these people were describing how the hallucinations work with the AIs. So they are based on these large language models. They were trained on human input. So basically what they are doing is they are predicting what you would be what you would be saying next. So I think it's similar here as well. It's the AI is just expecting you to say something next based on the model that it was trained on. That it necessarily doesn't mean that it's true, So in general, this AI, like I said already, I don't have a problem in general with AI if it's used in a good way, but how YouTube is using it is absolutely ridiculous. It's really not well set up, and if there are some issues that need to be fixed, they just absolutely ignore the creators. There have been creators that were banned for this inauthentic content, which I have also mentioned, or demonetized or whatever, and when people were writing to YouTube, they were just completely ignored. So and it was absolute nonsense. So basically YouTube just gave the AI a free hand, but the AI is not behaving like an adult. Let me compare it like that. It's like giving a gun to a 5-year-old and say to the 5-year-old, you do it with your best judgment. You can shoot this and this and just judge it with your best judgment. It's a 5-year-old kid, for example, or not a 5-year-old kid, but the AI is like on a level as a 5-year-old would be in understanding the world. The AI which we have currently, it's nowhere near the level where it would be like fully functional in the sense that it would be able to judge the context in which certain things are posted. And it's very visible on how YouTube is working. The context is absolutely unclear to the AI in many cases. Yeah. And again, we're at the topic of YouTube. John is saying, I never get notifications. They changed it now. That's also what I mentioned, if you remember, maybe last time. It was just like a early warning. They were planning to release it, and I think like a week ago, they have now changed the setup, and they have informed the creators that they will now no longer notify even the subscribers when you like release a new vid, or it's like a lottery. Maybe they will be notified, maybe not. It will be the AI that will judge whether it will send out notifications or not. I have no words for that. I mean, I will make the effort and find the video where I think Deep Humor was having a specific video on that. I will link it in the description below and you can watch that because he explained it way better than I can. So just watch it because they are removing one after another good features that have been working, substituting them with AI slop. Yeah. Okay, I have to scroll. Whoa, there's a lot of interaction. I love it. And Snackish is writing, I'm back. What did I miss? A good discussion. You have to rewatch. And John is saying YouTube would rather push 2 minutes reaction garbage. Yeah. And Snackish is saying, okay, so the AI definitely hates me. I had the same feeling recently, to be honest. And Vindral is saying, it's like something out of the movie Minority Report. Exactly. Not a future that I was expecting for us to see during our lifetime, to be honest. I think it's that movie where they anticipate your guilt before you've done anything. Exactly. Yes. It was just recently on TV, so I rewatched it again, yeah. And Snakish is saying, I'm too Christian and conservative for the lefty Orwellian nightmare they've created. Trust me, not just you. I think there's plenty of people. Although I have to say, you know what I've noticed? It's people from certain regions or in certain age groups which rather have a problem with this, and younger generations or in certain locations, I don't want to be too specific, you probably can guess, but I don't want to, let's say, offend nobody. There is a generation of people growing up and that don't perceive this anymore this way. And I have noticed they are much more easier to manipulate, not like from our side, but in general, like from what they receive from the media, and they just watch some news and say, yeah, that's how it happened. Nobody verifies what's going on. Nobody checks the other side. Nobody makes the effort anymore to like dig into something if something doesn't feel right. Like this critical thinking, it's like dying out with certain generations, and in certain regions there are still people who are not made for this Orwellian nonsense, like you're saying, but I'm afraid that from what I can see, the next few generations, the people will no longer perceive it this way, or there will be not so many anymore. I just don't see a very bright future, to be honest, for certain societies, like especially in the West, to be honest. The nightmare will continue. Yeah, I'm afraid. And we will no longer be here to protest. And yeah, and John is saying same, and too literate. Yeah. Snake is saying, I still want my drinking stream and talking about what's the problem with gaming nowadays. And we have to do that one, yes. And maybe over the summer. And John is saying lowest common denominator is lowest bar ever now. Yeah, exactly. Snake, I live in the United States of America. 5-year-olds got really good shot placement. Okay. And Vindral is saying, yes, in France it's quite terrifying. The new generation is glued to social media. They think differently. What I, at 42, see as terrifying for freedom of thought is normal for them. That's what I mean. Like because they already grow up in this kind of twisted reality. There's no way how I can call it in a different way. They already perceive something different as normal than what we do. And we do it because we grew up, let's say, with different education, with different values, and maybe in different locations. The kids these days, they are growing up already with very different views. I'm not saying in general that it's bad or it's worse than ours, but it's different. And I'm afraid that it's different in terms of the critical thinking is getting lost. And this way, the people will become more easier to be manipulated. And that's what I'm afraid of. Because if you have this kind of critical thinking and you are like double checking stuff and you don't really like, you have a good information base, knowledge base, wide range of topics that you are able to cover, and okay, what you've been taught in school, what you have read, what you have found out, you have some kind of experience already, you're not so easily you are not persuaded to believe something which somebody just tells you. You double check normally. And this way, when something is BS, you will be calling it out. And I'm afraid this is getting lost. And the people, like I said, will be more easily to be manipulated. And that's a shame, because then it will be even worse for the, let's say, common folk, as it is now. Nobody, the rights will be slowly stripped away. It's like the Orwellian world. But the people will not even protest, because for them it will be like it's normal. That's what I'm afraid of. It's just heading into this direction, and in a certain sense, I'm happy that I probably not will be around after a certain time or a certain age, because I don't want to see where this is heading. To be honest, I'm not so optimistic about this future if it continues in the way as it does now. So yeah. political little window. Vindral is saying they like to dress in old clothes from the 80s that were already considered outdated back then. This generation is really weird. Oh, so technically I could pull out something from my closet and would still look good. Okay, I would look in. Yeah. Try being 70. I'm watching history. I experienced being erased. Exactly. That's another portion. Like people these days, the younger people these days will try to convince me that what I'm saying that I personally was part of. No, it didn't happen like that. I was there. But I have other information. Oh, come on. So I absolutely get it, and it must be even worse for you, John, because you're basically one generation older. So you're basically the generation of my parents. I can see it on my parents the same way. They are just like, my dad is wondering sometimes when he's watching the news or what's going on in the world, like, don't tell me people believe these nonsense, because he immediately sees when something is not correct, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's how it is today. People will be telling you that what happened 30, 40 years ago is not true. They will just invent something new. And my dad is like, yeah, but we are still here. We remember that. And I have to tell him and remind him, yeah, when you die out and my generation dies out and some of you in the areas or the generations die out, there will be nobody else anymore who will actually remember how it really was. And then it will be even more easier to convince the people that things are not the way that they think they are. The history will be just rewritten, and that's it. And that's what I'm afraid of. It's the history is being rewritten to suit somebody's needs, I would say, and so much is being lost. How are you supposed to learn from what happened in the past decades, centuries as a society? How are you supposed to continue and learn from the mistakes if the history gets rewritten and those mistakes are being written out or turned around, and actually something which is absolutely the opposite will be stated as the truth? Like I said, I'm actually happy not to be around for too long anymore. It sounds crazy, but I mean, I won't be here in 100 years. I don't want to know how it will be looking like here in 100 years. Snakish is saying, which is why younger generations see Nolan's Odyssey and that is the new Greek heritage to them. Don't even tell me. No, please. The only thing for me positive on this whole Odyssey thing, which is currently going on the controversy, is the memes. The Ellen Page memes. And yes, I will not call her Elliot. The Ellen Page memes, those are gold. Those are pure gold, guys. I'm always having a good laugh when I see them. I will probably link some as well when I will post the live stream, because there are some. So that's, I think, the only positive thing on this whole debacle. And like you're saying, the worst thing is that I have seen a lot of people writing like, yeah, but it's good that there is diversity. People don't even realize that this is not about like some diversity points. It's about like reflecting certain cultural values. If you just put in there whoever and completely like change the writing, then you are making basically a new story which has nothing to do with the original anymore. So why don't you just write something new, and then you can have as much diversity and as many other let's say DI things there as you want, but just don't take something that is coming from a cultural heritage of certain people and completely twist it around. Like this is for me the nonsense. And people who are defending it, I'm at a loss. Things off. Okay, it's back. The microphone just gave up for a second. Not sure why, but I hope you can hear me back again because I can see it's working. Like I said, the only good thing on the whole Odyssey debacle is the Ellen Page memes. Okay, let me go through. Oh, wow. It's like, the chat is alive. It's alive. I like it. And Snake is saying, if you do the drinking stream, I jump on with you, lol. Okay, good. Okay, let me set up one, okay? And Snake is saying, they're rewriting history right in front of our very eyes. And John is saying, oh, good Lord, Nolan. Yeah, I think any good, like the good name that he had or anything left of his good name is now gone, at least like for many people. Snakish Raccoon is saying, and younger generations are eating it up. Yeah, that's the problem. Love it when someone tries to lecture Eastern Europeans on communism for this exact reason. Yes, that's from Snakish, which is why I'm using often like a reply on X or on some social media when I read some nonsense like how good communism is. From my perspective, like I said, because I still remember it quite well. Then I post this meme, where you can see from Game of Thrones, like Daenerys talking there, having a good speech, and then you can see Arya from the background with like in a very bad shape and bad state, like staring at Daenerys and just not believing what she's hearing. So yeah, that meme is very fitting. And John is saying Hassan Piker glazing Stalin as a great man. You mean that Hassan Piker who has like, what was it, the ring for a couple of thousand and extra like special, like expensive clothing and I don't know. Yeah. Uh-huh. I sometimes say I would actually wish that there would be a time machine. And I would really like put these people into a time machine and send them back in before 89 and into some of the Eastern European countries which had this crazy communist rule. And I would let them live there like for 1 or 2 years. And then I would love to talk to them when they come back. And trust me, communism would be the last thing that they would be ever talking about nicely. So yeah. And Vindral is saying, social media panders to emotion and offense at the expense of reason and the search for truth. Oh, praise the Lord. You are, amen. You are saying it exactly right. And Vindral again, and I think the woke movements in the US were largely forged through this internet culture where algorithms give you the feeling of being at the center of everything. Yeah, the screaming minority was so loud that some of the companies and some of the governments have believed that this is really what majority of the people think. Reality is that majority of the people just doesn't care to or doesn't bother to be 24/7 on social media and project their worldviews there. So most people just don't care. So those who are there and are screaming the loudest are actually the minority, but unfortunately they get the most space with government and corporations and whatever. It's just crazy, yeah. And John is saying the memes are funny, yeah, Alan. And Snake says, I hope we are all looking forward to the 5 minutes of hate videos. Let my ass up, yes. And Snakish is saying, Based Sisa, I still can hear, I still call her Ellen Page too. Yeah, sorry, it's a woman. It doesn't matter if she cuts off body parts. It's still a woman. It doesn't matter how many hormones she's going to take or how many body parts she will cut off. It's a woman. Biologically, it's a woman, period. There's nothing to discuss, you know. And John is saying, when Ellen tried the Sparta kick, that one was good. Yes, like he didn't even move. Like, come on. And what I also had a good laugh about was that they were using in some of those memes like Dylan Mulvaney. Come on, those are like I really hate the guy, but it was so fitting to put him into those memes. Yes. And Vindral is saying, I was banned from the Bloodlines 2 Discord because I replied to a guy that no Vlad Tepes could not historically be black and LGBT in a hypothetical vampire game. People who have zero clue about real history. I mean, yeah, we are talking about games, etc., but that's the problem, that people say, oh, it's just a movie, it's just a game, but that's how the history rewrites often start. You know, who in this day and age, especially from the younger generations, is reading any books? And the books they are reading, which books are those? Are those already the rewritten books? Because if yes, then they are just reading this kind of nonsense anyway, and then they believe it. Most of them do not. They think when they see a movie or a game that this is really historically accurate, and then they believe this nonsense. So I do not wonder that some of them then are defending this crap, because they really believe, they truly believe that it is real. That's the problem. And John is saying, no one reads Solzhenitsyn anymore. Oh, I would so much love for the people to, especially those like praising communism, just read from his books, like about the time when he was in the Gulag. Yeah. I think they would really think twice about praising some commies, but yeah, like you're saying, nobody's reading that anymore. And I'm quite sure that if they ever want to start reading again his books, those will be nicely rewritten and modernized. And Snackish is saying, that's how everyone suddenly believes Achilles was gay because of a nonsense reimagining gay romance. Boom. Exactly. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. Guys, if you don't mind, give me just a tiny little break, because I really have to clean my nose. The allergy season is still ongoing and it's quite full. I have to clean it, and I don't want to bother you with the sound on camera. So just give me a little minute and then I will be back. Okay? Thank you. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully you can hear me and see me well. Thank you for a little wait. I was reading in the meantime some of the comments. Same with Odyssey. Now Nolan based it on the awful translation of a UK ideologically hijacked feminist book. Absolutely. I have heard that. Like there are multiple translations and he took this one. And I was just like so completely thrown off from that. Like, how can you, I mean, in general, how can you call it a translation if it's changed from the original? That is no longer a translation. It's an adaptation. So it is an adapted book. Oh, by the way, you can, no, oh, yeah. You can see the tiny black cat in the background here. It's a rarity. She's rarely on camera. She's very shy. So yeah, just FYI. When she's walking around, I will catch her. And yeah, it's no longer a translation. Why are they calling it a translation when I have heard about the version that you are mentioning, it's not a translation, okay? And John is saying, well, Pedro Pascal is not Achillesian. To be honest, John, if I would have to choose between Ellen and Pedro, I would prefer to see Pedro. As much as I'm fed up with him. And of course, also, when we're talking about those people, Zendaya had to be again in the movie. I mean, every time when you see her, she has the same facial expression. It's like this perpetual scowl. Like, she's having the exact same facial expression, no matter whether she's like portraying anger, happiness, whether she's like supposed to be surprised, and it's always the same facial expression. Why the hell is she so many movies? I'm so tired of seeing that. Okay. For some reason, the microphone is already saying, hello, it's time to update OBS. My apologies. Sound, yeah, thank you. I have just now noticed it. So, yeah, I was laughing about the Ellen and Pedro comparisons. What was it? Yeah, at least he's a man almost. He's biologically a man, at least, yes. And based back to the notes from Snake, I don't know whether you heard that one, but yeah, don't lie, you have to clean your nose because of all the cocaine you've been doing. And at least I'm not in that same space yet, like that lady which I described before with that white fabric. We all know whom I mean. Okay, and then the sound problem we can hear. And YouTube only likes the left. Okay, I have someone new in the chat with a very good name. Thank you. I like that. And it is back. Okay, great. And Snake is okay. Message retracted. Come on, Snake. How come? Okay. Yeah, let me go back probably to what I still have prepared. I'm not sure when the sound was off and when it wasn't. I hope like you heard me when I was saying like let's use the time that the pets are still not completely like woken up. The dogs are still not asking me to go out, so let's use the time and continue because I have still something more prepared. And I've mentioned that regarding the Sony. I still have to talk to you about that one. And Snackish is saying based username exactly. Yes, I really like it. Okay, let me switch the screen. Hopefully, nothing will happen with the sound. Let me just change it. Okay, it looks good now. And let me show you what else is there. Oh yeah, I don't know if you have heard this. To me, it was a surprise because I'm not really following up on The Witcher anymore that much. It's just too many games currently going on, so I don't want to like spread myself too thin and catch up on 100 games. But I heard that they are working on this project series. I have no clue what it is. And now it's, I'm reading here, official standalone multiplayer Witcher game in active development. And I'm like, come on, you cannot be serious. Like multiplayer. Is The Witcher or is the CDPR really going down that road? Now, if you ever have Yeah, it's now starting to work. I have noticed that there is increasingly a problem. I apologize. Mic is off, yeah. She won't know until she checks the chat. Yeah, unfortunately. And sound. Yeah, my apologies. I mean, it's really annoying today because every time when I just change the screen, it just sounds going away. And I don't know why it's now doing, because it's really awful. I will have to check the settings and probably just see whether Windows updates were not messing up something as well, unfortunately. So my apologies. I really apologize. The discussion is about the Witcher multiplayer. I can't even talk. And the reactions are like not the best. And as you could see, they are not, even on Reddit, they are not very positive, which is already something to say. So I know that you probably haven't heard what I was saying, but you could at least see what I'm sharing on the screen, and it is just not going in the best direction. The CD Projekt Red company, I mean, they are more and more becoming the next, I don't know, BioWare or Ubisoft or like any other woke corpo that's just going down the drain. And when I have seen this news, my first thought was, okay, not again another franchise that is completely being destroyed by a multiplayer. Whoever had this crappy idea, I don't know, but it's just awful. And as you can see, the reactions are not so great. So why corporations and companies are doing this? Why are you squeezing a multiplayer into a single player universe? I have no clue. I have really, really no clue. So yeah. I don't know if you were aware of that. I was aware that there is this project that they are working on, but I wasn't aware that it's a multiplayer. So not the best, to be honest. And that was regarding The Witcher, but wait, what was there else? And yeah, I have to switch again. I hope that the microphone will not completely be gone. Let me check the microphone then when I switch back. Okay, yeah. Sometimes the microphone stops working when I switch screens, I've noticed. And Snake is saying, okay, we need your number so we can let you know about your mic. My phone is very far away and the sound is turned off, so it wouldn't even help. And I can't understand why CD Projekt is becoming like US corporations. I thought it was a Polish studio that's from Windral. Yeah, the problem is I think they are now they become a corporation when they entered the stock market. So the moment you enter the stock market and you sell shares, you have no longer an impact on who becomes your shareholder. And the shareholders have, in the end, the biggest impact on the company. And that's basically how you end up with this same nonsense as any other big corporation, because sooner or later there will be companies like BlackRock coming around and invest in shares, and then suddenly you realize that the majority shareholder in your company is somebody who is now able to dictate to you what you can and cannot do. So this is why I appreciate, for example, Larian, because they stayed private. And they stayed private exactly because of this thing. They want to have complete governance over their own company, and they want to decide what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. So yeah, that's the difference between companies like Larian and CDPR, unfortunately. And Snake is saying, I may text you memes in the middle of the night. And Snake is saying, are you logged in on Discord? I could DM you when the mic goes out. I could do that. I would leave my phone somewhere on the side. Well, we can do the next stream. Not now anymore, probably, but yeah. And John is saying exactly, yeah, ESG money. Yeah, that's right. Next topic, and I just wanted to highlight it. We were talking about Arcanaut Studios, or I made a video about the Casey Hudson's new studio, which is now working on the next Star Wars game. And I was speculating at first, like maybe Disney is behind the financing, and then I wouldn't wonder that there is some nonsense in the game, etc., etc. It was like a big red flag. And then what happened just like 1 or 2 days after I released the video, there was an information that the Greater Than Group, GTG, which you can see on the screen, is actually funding the whole game and the studio, so Arcanaut Studios. And who's behind it is actually a former NetEase executive. So regarding Asian gaming companies, Tencent is the biggest one, and then NetEase is the second largest, and he's the former I think CEO or some executive from NetEase, and he's now created this new group, which is now funding several projects and studios, and one of those is Casey Hudson. You can see on the screen as well, like who's the other ones. So he's funding the game, and for me that means that there should be no, let's say, woke Western influence. At least I'm hoping that there isn't, which gives me at least now a little bit more hope that there will be not too much of this woke crap. It is not 100% guarantee, of course, because it's still Star Wars, which belongs to Disney, which is woke as hell. So I'm wondering whether like Hudson is trying to find like a balance now between like who's funding the game and whose IP it actually is. So it's a good thing that we at least know that there will be not too much excessive woke nonsense in there. I guess there will be some, but hopefully not too much. And John is saying that's what happened to KCD. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Vindral is saying, it's true that I don't have a single example of a studio that ended up doing well by selling itself on the shareholder market. And John is saying NetEase is poison. I mean, yeah, but this guy has left NetEase. So that's also one thing that you have to keep in mind. Who knows what's really behind it. We'll definitely keep an eye on that because I think a lot of people are interested in the game. So let's see what news we will get over time. And Snake is saying we so need a group chat so YouTube can't block our real comments. You know, the type of group chat that if we ever ran for political office, it will end our career if it ever gets leaked. Okay. Look, as long as it stays hidden for like the next 10 years or 11, which I still have to work, when I retire, then I don't give a flying fuck. As long as I'm still working, it wouldn't be so great. I have to tell you that. And not just like political office wise, let's say. Okay, so yeah, but I get your point. Might be a good question. If you are on Discord, you know, I have a link on my profile, and also I think in the description there is one to my profile. You can send me a message and we can chat there if you want. I don't mind. There are some servers where I am. Some of them are private, so it's also another option, but I would have to discuss with the other people who are there. So yeah, but if you are on Discord, it's one way of reaching out to me as well. And Johnny saying, Shrek, probably Hudson, no? Spent more time at failed BioWare than he did at old school. Yeah. Let me try to switch to tabs again. Hopefully I can. Okay, I hope that you can see that I try to switch the tabs without moving around in OBS too much. So it says NetEase veteran. He has raised 100 million and is backing the, let's say, gaming royalty for Star Wars. I think he's like trying to be doing this individually. It doesn't want to be really connected to a corporation, which is why I was saying like it does give me a little bit of a hope that he's doing it like on his own. Yeah, he comes from NetEase, but he's no longer there. So, Vindral is saying, "Be careful if you create a Discord group." Yeah, and certain lady I don't want to talk about will ask for the moderation keys. Certain lady will not get into any Discord where I am. I can guarantee you that. I mean, not as long as it's either my Discord or a closed private Discord group. So yeah, and yeah, John is saying I meant Hudson. I thought as much. Yeah. Okay, Snake is okay. Good. Let's connect then. Good. Let me go back. I still have some more. Lot. You have probably seen this one. So, on one hand, you have former corporate executives now trying to individually like go their own way and finance some games. And then you have those big corporations like Ubisoft, which is absolutely going down the drain. I think that what you can see, the losses that they have been recording over 2025, and they have just now released them, and it was a record hit, like a couple of $1 billion just down the drain. I believe in the last few hours before the stream, I have seen that the share prices have again a little bit went up. So it kind of a little bit corrected upwards, but if you look at it like from a long-term perspective, they have just lost way too much money over the last couple of years. And I believe many people will say serves them right because of the crap that they have been producing. Yes, they used to make some good games, but that was a long, long time ago. And in the recent years, a lot of what we have seen was just really crap for the modern audience, full with the message. So, yeah, I am not surprised that it ended this way. And here we are at the most important topic that I left for the end, which I've mentioned already previously. And we were talking about the PlayStations and Sony. And Sony has confirmed now that they are leaving the PC market. If you remember, about a month or month and a half ago already, there was a rumor, and I made of it, it's just a rumor. At that time, it was only a rumor and not confirmed. And I said, I will wait for the confirmation. So here we are, and we have the confirmation now. So they are really going to ditch the PC market, which is going to be something that will hit their books. Let me put it that way. So when I was first reading this, then I started to laugh and I said, okay, they will somehow want to compensate. And just to give you an idea, I haven't done like a complete research on the topic. I have to say I was just looking up certain games and certain franchises, which are like the flagships from the PS and Sony. And in general, when they were releasing sales numbers, and they started a couple of years ago also to actually like put the former exclusives also on the PC market. So even PC gamers were able to play them. That's why I was able to play Horizon. If you take around the average. So the average of how much of the total sales do the PC sales make, it's about between 12 and about 15-16%, like per game or per franchise. It's just an average, which I calculated just based on a couple of sales numbers, which I have looked up. And where they actually were available, like how much of the total sales were the PC sales on Steam. And that's just Steam. So we're talking about an impact of about, let's say, 15%, 14-15%. They are going to lose that now if they say, okay, we will decide to no longer be available for PC gamers. And we will go back to being just exclusive with the games. They will somehow have to try to find a way how to make up for those losses. And that's where the next news come into play. Let me show you. So first of all, there's this problem that the PlayStation accounts are now suddenly being hacked en masse. So somebody was speculating that the data is being sold, user data, and the accounts are in a too big amount and too easily hacked. So someone was speculating maybe that's one way of like Sony making more money, but that's like really pure bad speculation. I don't really want to go into detail. Somebody will just tell me that I spread bad news or something or lies. So FYI, I hope you can still hear me, but yeah, it looks like it. And then you can see PlayStation Plus is about to get more expensive for some players. Of course, it's just an increase of $8 here and $3 there, but multiplied by the players. So that's the first increase, how they try to compensate. And then price is effective as of 2nd April, so most people have probably already seen it if they were trying to buy new consoles. Well, good luck with those prices. $900 or euros for a PS5 Pro. You can have already a good laptop or maybe not so good gaming PC for that, but it's just at the point where a console stops making sense, to be honest. I mean, this is poor. Let me see what you're writing. And I can see you still can hear me, but I don't know what's your opinion, but you can see now that they are increasing prices across the board for basically everything else. So they are trying to get somehow more money out of the players which remain in the PlayStation environment. So yeah, on one hand, they say they will leave the PC market. And many people were saying, oh, nobody needs them. Well, I don't think so. They will have to make up for that. Otherwise, they will be recording a loss, whether people like it or not. And Snake is saying, if I ever become a mod, I will ban myself on day one. Okay. And John is saying, how could Erika Ishii fail them so? Who could have seen that? Yeah. There were a couple of games, not just that one, that were completely like woke as hell. And it was clear that they will not reach big sales numbers. Snake is saying, remember how simple games used to be and everyone was trying to find the naked lady in Doom? What's the biggest deal in gaming at the time? Gaming, not gaining. Yeah, but I get what you want to say. So that was the important bit regarding PlayStation. So in case you like have both PlayStation and PC gaming, I think at the moment you are in a good spot. You don't really need to change for quite some time or for a while if your rig is, let's say, still halfway good. PC and with a PlayStation, unless you really have to buy a new one. Yeah, just keep what you have currently, because with the pricing, yeah. So even the console players are not having an easy life here, to be honest. Yeah. And John is saying PC still master race. Yeah. I wouldn't say necessarily master race, but I still see more advantages in the PC gaming, because technically, if something happens to my PC and I have to switch something out, I will definitely not have to pay, I don't know, $600 or $800 for that. So, yeah. And Snake is saying, I'm not spending that money on some that will be outdated in 2 years. That's the problem. I mean, with the PC gaming, that was something that I was mentioning when we were talking about the Unreal Engine games. There will be a time when there will have to be an adjustment what the PC players or the players in general can still afford in terms of new technology and new hardware, and what the devs can do with their game, and how demanding it can be. So I think we are somewhere at the moment where we are not so far away anymore from this point that it will come to a halt. People will stop buying new hardware simply because it becomes unaffordable, or like you said in the beginning, it's a luxurious hobby already in the meantime. And then the companies will not be able to sell games anymore if they are like too demanding on the hardware. And that's when they will have to do something with it. So I think we're not far away from that point anymore. But it's just my own opinion. I really don't know how much and how much longer this will continue with the price increases and with this kind of adjustments. But people are already these days, people are already so far away from like stopping to buy anything. A lot of people really have exploding cost of living, and they just cannot afford anymore this stuff. So yeah. And Snake is saying, John, if you John, you it's Xbox. It's if you it's Xbox is the master race. No, I have to take John's side. It's PC. And yeah, John is stating exactly not moddable. Yeah. Snackish is saying, Xbox, what do you even play on there? Good reaction. At least PS5 had and will have exclusives, yeah. Okay, let me just check very quickly what else I have. Oh yeah. So as you can see, we have on Friday, June the 5th, and that's the stuff that I promised you that I will show you. So the Summer Game Fest is coming up on Friday, June the 5th. So I will be definitely watching that one, because I'm pretty sure that there will be some interesting new games. Hopefully, no, what was it, High Guard again? I think somebody even mentioned that in the comments. Yeah, what's the next live service game Jeff pumps up and watches crash and burned? So on the 5th of June, and then Hazardor Gaming had a good compilation of this information. So Summer Game Fest, we know. Then State of Play is confirmed to be on Tuesday, June the 2nd. And we have also the Xbox Game Showcase coming up on Sunday, June the 7th. So just a couple of days in a row, we will see a lot of these shows and game fests. And I'm not sure if we know about Nintendo Direct. I haven't noticed a date there, but at least for these three we know it, and it's basically the 1st June week. So it will be very interesting there over the 1st June week. Absolutely. I will definitely keep an eye on everything there. And High Guard, yes, John is saying that. And John also says if people are not buying Windows 11, lol. And Snake says, I remember how cool it was. The original Xbox can play music, how insane it was. Xbox 360 plays movies. Yeah. Times are changing, and I'm having the feeling not for the better. Okay. Guys, basically, I think that would be it from my side. I don't know if you have any other topics that you would like to discuss. I think we did discuss also some stuff aside from what I had on my list, and it was great because I have seen that there was a lot of good discussions going on. And Snake is saying, I play you on Xbox, Raccoon. Okay. From my side, and now the pets are also starting to stir, so I would say we have used the time quite well. I hope that there were some interesting topics for you today. Again, my big apologies for the microphone. I will have to check it. Basically, I noticed that it's stopping to work when I switch scenes in OBS. So either it's OBS that has a problem, or there was some Windows update that just completely effed up everything. Either way, I need to fix it. So definitely I will be working on that. And the cats just got some zoomies. And Snake is saying, woman, and I don't appreciate mommy jokes. Leave my mommy alone. Oh, come on. Yeah. Be nice to each other in the chat, please. And yes, Sisa, I want to discuss the fact that you need to send me baby pictures before you go. No, your walkies. I will take some pictures of the cats and the dogs, promise. Yeah, by the way, one of the dogs has an operation next Tuesday. She has I don't know how to call it, a growth here on the chest. It's not malignant, so it's not a tumor, but it's still still growing and growing. It's thankfully, like I said, nothing bad. But the doctor suggested we take it out because it could impede her movements already, etc. So she's having an operation, and I hope that it will be just relatively superficial to take that thing out, and there will be no complications or nothing. So next week, I'm not sure when there will be a next vid, because over the weekend I have to work in the garden. It's beautiful weather out there, and all the plants are demanding a lot of work. And all the weeds, which don't demand any work, they are just sprouting everywhere. So I have to work a little bit in the garden and have to put it back in order. And I will be definitely, like I said, doing some clips from the vids. I'm not sure if you can hear the noise, but they are just having zoomies like crazy. So I will definitely have to work in the garden, and then I will have to take care of the doggo after the operation. So I will be definitely working on the next vid, and I have to definitely finish that review, at least a script. So I will be posting something. I'm just not sure when. So my apologies for that. And I should be posting something, to be honest. I'm just so far away from monetization, and I still can't reach those hours, 30 hours missing, damn it. So just FYI. But yeah, unfortunately, currently, not really the time, but I will definitely try to post something for you, and especially keep an eye on some interesting stuff that's going on. If there will be some new information, then I will definitely post an update. And yeah, you can currently see that's the one that's trying to hide every time when the camera is on, or when I'm taking pictures. So it's nice to see her on camera currently. So yeah, that was one of the cats. And oh yes, the wonderful era of mandatory Xbox Live. That's from John. And yeah, Snake is saying, is it a lipoma? Yes, I think it's a lipoma. Okay, not 100% sure. She took a sample and said, okay, it's not malignant, but she needs to open the chest up to see what it actually is, and if she can take it out like completely, or if there is still something remaining, and so yeah, I will keep you posted. And Johnny saying, I suspect Snackish goes bananas over cute cat bits. And Snake says, you still suck, raccoon. No, come on. Don't be bad to Snackish. I will be then bad to you. I will defend her. Okay. And Johnny saying good night. Thank you very much. And yeah, Snackish is saying doggos are number one in my heart. I know. But you are taking care of a cat now, no? And we need to talk about that a little bit more. And Snake is saying, I hope your dog will be okay. I had to put mine down 3 weeks ago. Oh, damn. I'm sorry to hear that, honestly. Yeah. Very, very sorry. It's not so easy depending on how long you had the dog. Of course, every time when you have a pet that's really like a family member, it's basically like losing a family member, so it's not so easy. And the older the dogs get, the more they become family, I would say, right? So yeah, it's not easy. Very, very sorry to hear that. And yeah, Snakish is also saying good night. All doggos are adorable. Okay, guys, so thank you very much for being here again. Thank you for joining the stream. It was really great to see all you here. I have to stream more often. And I wish you all a very, very nice evening and a very nice weekend. I hope you are going to have a very nice weekend. I hope the weather is fine. And I definitely will then post again something over the next week or two. And definitely plan the next live stream. And yeah, Snake, I keep that drinking live stream in mind. Okay, so thank you all very much. Have a beautiful evening. Thank you for being here. And have a nice weekend. Bye.